Goodbye to PokeMoshPit, I'm 6ftHax, and today I bring you an NU battle against Dean Blaid. Now, as you can see from my team, it is fairly bulky, seeing as I have a Garbodor that carries spikes and toxic spikes. I have Mischievous, that is my Cleric and my Spin Blocker. Then I have Bastiodon, which is my Phaser and my Stealth Rocker. Then finally off I have Lickilicky, which is my Wish Supporter, and also being a phaser because I do carry the Dragon Tail. Then finally off I have Centino and Rotom, which are my little Volt turn combo going on there. And from looks at my opponent's team, there's not really anything I'm too afraid of outside of the Electabuzz and Golbat. Golbat because they do tend to carry Taunt and Super Fang, so I know that's definitely going to be a nuisance. Then if Electabuzz has Scarfed, he's able to outbeat my whole team, so hopefully I can play around those two, and let's see how the battle turned out. So I'm going to be leading off with my Garbodor, as my opponent will be leading off with this Heatmor. Now, knowing that he doesn't have a Poison type that is touching the ground, and that he doesn't have a Rapid Spinner, I know I can get up at least one layer of Toxic Spikes, as he's going to go straight for the Fire Blast. Luckily for me, I end up taking this Fire Blast a lot better than I thought it would, considering that Heatmor don't have the best special defense around. So knowing that I might have some use for my Heatmor later on in the battle, because I might be able to pass a Wish off to it with my Lickilicky, I am going to switch into my Lickilicky as he goes for another Fire Blast, and that Fire Blast actually does a little bit more than I thought it would, considering that Lickilicky are specially defensive monsters. And unfortunately for him, he's going to miss the Focus Blast, and I'm going to paralyze him with the Body Slam. But luckily, I'm not going to finish him off, and he's not going to get paralyzed. But he misses the Fire Blast, but as you'll see later on in the battle, he ends up getting his own bit of hacks and makes up for it. So I managed to get rid of the Heatmor, which is great, giving me a 6-5 lead as he's going to bring in the B-Barrel. Now, I don't know what B-Barrel do, so I'm going to just stay in, go for a Wish, and see what he wants to do. But he actually ends up going for the Superpower. Luckily for me, I'm actually able to live with 17 HP, and I'm going to be able to get my Wish up, which means the following turn I can go for a Protect, and if he wants to leave in his B-Barrel, I can just get some extra Toxic damage on that. But he knows this, so he's actually going to switch into his Golbat, which is fine by me. Knowing that he more than likely just wants to go for a Taunt or for a Super Fang, I'm not going to stay in, and I'm actually going to switch into my Rotom, because I will be able to go for a Volt Switch on whatever he decides to switch out into. As he goes straight for the Taunt, which is fine by me, because I am Choice Scarfed, I have no real reason to go for the Trick just yet, considering it's still early on in the battle. So I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, thinking that he wants to switch out, but he actually ends up staying in, and this is why, because now instead of me getting Switch Initiative, he will be able to get Switch Initiative, as he brings in the Torterra, which is fine by me, because after Leftovers, I will be up to my Sturdy range, which means even if he goes for an Earthquake, I will be able to live with 1 HP. As he ends up going for the Stone Edge, I guess maybe thinking that I was switching to my Mischievous or into my Rotom just to take the Earthquake, but I'm not seeing any Life Orb damage, and I didn't see any Leftovers, so I'm going to go for Protect, scout out to see what he wants to do, and he just keeps going for Stone Edge. So at this point, I'm very positive that he's going to be choiced in some way, so I'm going to stay in, not fearing an Earthquake or a Wood Hammer whatsoever, and just keep going for Stone Edges so I can get rid of this Torterra, because it looks like he just wants to sack it off. So the following turn, instead of going for Protect, I'm actually going to go for another Stone Edge, and he actually turns out to not be choiced and just utterly annihilates my Bastiodon with the Earthquake. And what I should have done, even though he is choiced, I still should have just gone for the Protect to get some more toxic damage on it, but oh well, hindsight is 2020, and there's nothing I can do about it now. So I'm going to switch into my Centino, and I'm just going to U-turn out into my Rotom. That way I can Volt Switch on whatever my opponent decides to bring in, and I would still be able to get Switch Initiative, as I believe he's going to switch into his Wormadam, and I'm actually going to Volt Switch on out into my Garbodor, seeing as I'm going to be faster than his Wormadam, and he more than likely just wants to get up his Stealth Rocks. This seems like an opportune moment for me to get up one layer of Spikes or get up my second layer of Toxic Spikes, but I really thought about it, and I knew that getting up Spikes would be better in the long run of the battle, because now I have a layer of Toxic Spikes, I have a layer of Spikes, and I have my Stealth Rocks up as he brings in the Golbat. Now, since the Golbat is running at fairly low amount of HP, I know he's more than likely just going to want to go for the Roost, which allows me to get up my second layer of Spikes, which is great, because now I will be able to get some more extra residual damage on the rest of his team, as he's going to finish me off with the Brave Bird. And I actually thought I would be able to live that Brave Bird, seeing as Golbat don't have the best physical attack around, as I'm going to bring in my Cinccino, and here is where the Heatmor hacks comes to bite me in the ass, because I missed my Rock Blast, and then the following turn I'm going to miss another Rock Blast, which means if Heatmor had not missed the Focus Blast and Fire Blast on my Lickilicky, I would not have my Lickilicky right now. But if I had not missed my Rock Blast on that Golbat, then my opponent wouldn't have his Golbat, so I guess it evens out if you ask me, as he's going to bring in his Electivire, and obviously because I'm thinking he's going to be Choice Scarf, I'm going to switch it to my Mischievous, when on hindsight I possibly should have gone out into my Lickilicky, seeing as he's not going to go for Focus Blast because I do have Mischievous, and there is a chance for him to miss. So the Thunderbolt was fairly obvious, and I should have just switched into my Lickilicky, and I'm not going to lie, I have been making some pretty dumb plays throughout this battle, considering that I'm still new to NU, and this was my very first battle with this his team. So hopefully you guys aren't too mad about me making some of the dumb plays that I've been making and are still enjoying the battle. So he's going to bring in the Bieber on my Shadow Ball, and because I have nothing left that wants to take a Waterfall or a Superpower, I'm just going to leave in my Mischievous basically as Death Fighter, as it is a double down. So he's going to bring in his Wormadam, as I'm going to bring in my Rotom. Now, after the Rocks and Spikes damage, it looks like a Thunderbolt might be able to take him out, but because I actually do not carry Thunderbolt on this Rotom, I actually carry Hidden Power Grass over it. So I'm going to have to go for my second best stab, which is going to be the Air Slash. Now, because he's more than likely just going to go for the Toxic, because from what I've seen, Wormadam do tend to carry that, I'm just going to stay in, not really caring if I get the flinch or not, because the following turn, the Protect is very obvious, so I can get a free switch out into my Cinccino, and then the following turn after that, I will be able to finish him off with a Wake Up Slap or a Rock Blast, and I actually end up going for the Rock Blast. Not really too sure why. I guess thinking that maybe Wake Up Slap wouldn't finish him off, but that was just stupid on my part, because if I had missed the Rock Blast there, he could have gone for a Gyro Ball and taken me out. But yeah, luckily I didn't miss, and third time miss a charm. So he's going to bring in the Electabuzz. Now, because in 2 turns he's going to die off to the Toxic, I am going to switch into my Licky basically as Death Fighter, and I'm not going to go for Wish, I'm not going to go for Protect, I'm just going to leave it in, go for Body Slam. As he goes for Thunderbolt, gets a 10% paralysis, then above that I do get fully paralyzed, but as I said, I really have no more purpose for my Licky at this point, as he's going to bring in the Golbat and finish me off with the Brave Bird. Now, I am down to my Cinccino and to my Rotom, but Rotom is poison and weak to rocks, and my Cinccino can only live one more Stealth Rock switch in, so I have to play around this Golbat correctly, or I could possibly end up losing. So I know, since he's going to predict me to go for the Volt Switch, and considering how well he took it last time, he's obviously going to go for the Roost, so I'm able to trick him while he roosts up. Now, I'm still in a bit of a bad situation, because I don't know at this point if he is running any Speed EVs, because if he's running enough Speed EVs to outspeed my Cinccino, I could be in a very bad situation. So I'm just going to stay and try to get as much damage on this thing as possible before I die off to Toxic damage. That way when I bring in my Cinccino, I will be able to finish him off, borrowing the fact that I'm actually faster than him and that he's not running any speed investments. So here, as you saw, I actually missed the Air Slash, but that helps me in the long run, seeing as he's still part flying because he is at full HP. He's not going to be able to roost up, and this Volt Switch is super effective. So I know it all comes down to this point. If he is running speed investments and is able to outspeed my Cinccino, he basically wins. But luckily for me, he's not, and I'm able to outspeed him and finish him off with the Tail Slap for the 2-0 victory in my favor. Very, very good game, Dean Blaid. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and if you did, make sure to click the like button. Now, I know it was a bit hacksy, but if you guys ask me, hacks is what makes the game fun and interesting, and with that, I would actually like to know what your guys' opinion are about hacks. Leave a comment down below on what you think about it. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it makes the game more fun? Also, guys, make sure to come check me out. My channel link is down in the description, and make sure to subscribe to PokeMoshPit. So with that, I do believe I am out of here. Haha, later.